In this video, I will show how you can paint a dreamy acrylic landscape easily, even if you're a complete beginner in digital art. Before we begin, you can get the tutorial files via the download link below. Also, if you like my YouTube videos, you can access even more tutorials and brush sets on my Patreon. You can check it out via the link in the description below. Now, let's get started! The size of the canvas is 2000 by 2000 pixels, and DPI is set to 300. If you want to use the brush size exactly same as mine, please create this canvas too. This is the color palette I'm gonna use today. It's included in the free bundle for the tutorial together with the brushes. Please download it via the link below if you haven't yet. I'll now go ahead and grab the fifth blue color. I think it will be convenient if we determine the colors as violet, pink and blue and give them index numbers. Also, I will select monoline brush from calligraphy to draw a circle. And I will make it big enough. When drawing round, oval or curvy shapes, I would recommend using brushes with non-tapered tips, such as monoline. This way it will be easier to match the tips in the end, and you will get a perfect shape like this. Now that it is ready, we can drag the color inside the shape to fill it, and adjust the color drop threshold by sliding the pencil to the right or to the left. Now we need to center the circle. For that I will click on the arrow and enable snapping in the settings. Now if we start dragging the circle to the sides, we will see these yellow intersections in the center, which means the circle is centered now. We will draw all other shapes inside the circle. But before we start drawing, let's apply a canvas overlay. To do that, I will create a new layer above the circle and select this grayish color that I placed separately. Now it's time to open the brush set. From here I will select raw canvas. This is my favorite texture from my papers pack. The full pack is available on my Patreon. You can find the link to it in the video description. For this brush I will select the full size and opacity and just paint all over the canvas. After that I will change the lace mode to color burn. And the result will be like this. All other layers will be located between these two, and we will clip them all to the circle. So let's go ahead and create the first layer. Then clip it. We will draw a few rocks on the foreground. The one in the middle will be the biggest one, and two more on the sides will be smaller. For the first rock I will select the fifth violet color. And since it will have mostly straight lines, it is better if we use selection in freehand mode. This way it will be easier to match the tips and we won't have any problems with color drop threshold. We can also set the color fill option here. Let's determine the center of the circle and start tapping. I will go down to the left side. You can create these curves however you want. At the bottom I will make it go outside the circle. And on the right side I will make it less complex, because most of this rock will be covered by the other one that will be located closer. So let me just tap here to close the selection, and it will be filled right away. Now we need to deselect and divide this rock into two parts to darken the right side. So I'm picking the next color on the left, which will be darker. Here I will continue using selection. I will start from the top of the mountain and continue going down, creating these interesting shapes. So this line will go approximately through the center of the mountain. Let it go down. Then I will outline it this way, go to the left again, and finish it at the bottom. Let's make a few more curves here. Then outline outside the circle. And on the right side I will cover the previous color. Tap here and we will get this. I think with the same color we can make a few more shapes on this part. So I will just tap at the bottom this way, creating a random shape. I will also close the selection and make another one at some distance. This way the rocks will look more natural. You don't have to be very accurate and make some perfect shapes, because later we will use smudging. I think now it is ready. We can deselect. After that, I will select the lightest color from violet to add the highlights. I will continue working on the same layer and use selection. We know that the peaks of the mountains are usually covered by the snow, so we can outline it this way here. On the left side, I will try to cover the previous color, so it's not seen on the edges. And then I will match the color with this edge. Continue adding the highlights. It may go down here. I will make it this curvy. Also match it with this tip. And finish the outline. Let's now continue and create more shapes. This one will be bigger and go more down. I will also match it with this color. Maybe we can add some smaller shapes on the dark part. And continue adding these highlights. This edge can be more curvy. Then I will make a shape here on the dark part. Later when we smudge it, it will look cool. Another smaller shape. Let's now draw on this side. I'd like to match it with the edge first. Then it may go inside a little. And I will match it with this edge to create this highlight. Alright, I think this will be enough. Finally, I will deselect. And the first rock is almost ready. Let's draw two more. I think I will now start working on the darkest one, which will be located on the right. As the base color, I'm going to use the color number 3 from violet. I will also first outline the shape with the selection. This time I will start from the bottom and go up, also creating various shapes. It may cross the mountain and go outside. Let's create the peak here and then go down to the right. At the bottom I will just close the selection. And next we need to outline the right part, which will be darker. So I'm selecting the second color. I will start tapping from the top of the mountain and divide it into two parts with various curves. Let's match it with this edge, then go down. We can create some shapes here. They may go back up and then down again. Let's match it with the left side. Then it will go down again here. I will go to the right and match it with the right side. Make sure I cover the previous color, so we don't see the edge. After that we can apply even a darker color. That comes first. With this color I will draw at the bottom. Like this, not too high. On this bigger part it may go upper, with some triangles. And then I will close the selection like this. It will be also filled. Alright, this mountain is ready too. I think for the last one, we can create another layer. Here I will start with the lightest color and outline a shape that will go approximately same height as the right mountain. Let me start from here and continue tapping. I will go to the left, then outline it this way, deselect and change the color to number 4. I will also outline it on the right, starting from here and tapping this way to darken the right part of the mountain. We can create some interesting shapes here, then outline it and match it with the edge. Now that these shapes are ready, we can merge them. And now we will turn this vector style into painterly style, using the smudge tool. So let's tap on this finger and go to Procreate Painting Set. From here I will be using wet acrylic brush. We just need to set the size. Let's start with 6%, and I will work on the big mountain first. I will just go along the edges, inside the shape, to add this painterly look. Let's smudge these shapes, also the small one, and I will continue. If you like the process so far, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate it. We need to smudge all the straight lines inside the shape and also on outer edges. So I will now work here. We can make circular strokes or make them in one direction or even back and forth. Just try different options and see which looks better. I will now go to the right side and work on the outer edge. Then on this mountain, just smudge all the dark lines and also outside it. I think it's one of the easiest ways to get this painterly look, if you are not too confident with drawing mountains yet. Let's now smudge it here and go to the left side finally. The look may also depend on the angle of the brush, so you can also try to change it. Okay, a few more strokes, and I think it is almost ready. I will just paint more here. And I think now I like it. We can start working on the background. And to do that I will create a layer above the circle. It will be clipped automatically, since the next layer is clipped as well. I think we can also recolor the circle into the first blue color. Now let's go to the new layer. And now we will create the gradient, starting from the darkest pink color and ending in the darkest blue. So first it will go lighter, and then from light to dark. So now I'm selecting this dark pink. And I think here we can totally use the brush, since we will make curves, not straight lines. Monoline from calligraphy will work great. I will start making arcs from this side and go to the right. Then I will outline the lower part and drag the color. Let's now select the next color and draw another line above this one. We need to close the outline on the sides and then fill it. So I will be changing the colors and drawing more shapes until we reach approximately the center of the circle, from where we will change the color. Let me draw this one. And here comes the lightest pink. That'll go this way. Now let's select the lightest blue color and continue making arcs. Picking the next color on the left and drawing more. Now I will select this color, and this time I will draw curves instead of an arc, like this. it will look like a wave. I will also connect it on the sides and fill. Selecting the next color and drawing similar curves. Also connecting and filling. With the next two colors I will draw same way. Make it curvy. Just don't forget that on top we will keep this dark blue. So I'm selecting the second color now and drawing the last curves. Also filling it. Now we can smudge the colors. And I'm going to use the same brush as we used on the mountain. It's wet acrylic. We can make the size slightly bigger and work on the edges. Make strokes in different directions. Just make sure you don't reveal the blue color, so we can be careful on the edges. I'll work here, smudge it with the light pink, and then continue working on blue colors. Let's smudge this too, then here, and then continue working on the waves. I think I will make the size slightly bigger to get these rough edges, and they will start looking like clouds. Let's smudge the last one. I will work more on this light color, adjust all the transitions. Now that we have the background, we can continue adding the details. I'd like to draw a hot air balloon on the right side from the mountains. And to do that we can create a layer above the background, so it will be clipped right away. As the base color I'm going to use the second pink color. And for the painting brush, I will select acrylic mixed brush from the set. Let's make the size around 10% and outline the balloon shape. On top it may look like an oval, and then on the sides it will go down. So I'm making these two lines with an angle. Let's paint it inside. I'm making the strokes back and forth. And once the shape is ready, we can change the color into a darker one. I will make the size slightly smaller and apply this color on the left side first. The intensity of the color depends on the angle and also on the pressure. Now we can make the size bigger again and draw here in the middle. It will also go as an arc. Then I will draw one more shape on the right side, like this. Now we can darken the lower part with a horizontal line. When the balloon shape is ready, we can draw the basket. And for the basket I'm going to use the second violet color. Just draw a tiny square. Let's make the size a little smaller. Now we can switch to a darker shade of violet. Make the size very small. And darken the right side. And also at the bottom. With the same dark color I will go to ink inset and pick the ink bleed brush. Let's set the size to around 5% and draw a few lines that will connect the balloon with the basket. They will go like this. Then we can draw a short horizontal line and a few more lines. We don't have to be very accurate. just drawing it schematically. Now that the shape is totally ready, I think we can place it on the blue color. Also adjust the size. So I will move it more to the right side, like this. After that I will duplicate the layer and make the second hot air balloon smaller. Also move it further. I think we can place it somewhere here, above the biggest mountain. Since it is very far away, we can blur it a little, because we can't see it clearly. Around 6% will work. Also, it would be nice if we play around with hue saturation and brightness. I will just make it less saturated. This way it will change the color a little. And now it is fine. Now the left side of the drawing looks a little empty, and we can fix it easily if we draw something on the side as well. It can be a tree. So let me go ahead and create a layer above the mountains and clip it to the circle. The texture is still on top. We can start with the tree trunk and use this dark color in the corner, together with acrylic mixed brush. Let's set the size to around 3 or 4%. I will first make a curve here, widen it at the bottom. Then it will go to the right side as a curve, and then upper. I just want to make some interesting shape. Let's make it a little wider. Then I will add another branch that will go to the right side from here, also making it curvy. And from this part it will go to the left, also as a curve. Now we can start adding smaller branches, so the size can be set to 2%. We don't have to draw too many shapes, because most of them will be covered by the foliage. So I will just draw a few. Maybe we can add another branch that will go to this side. Also adding smaller shapes. Something like this. And I'm making these strokes as if I'm drawing with a real brush, not pressing too much. Also, the look of the stroke will depend on the angle of the pencil. So if you hold it more straight, you will get more opaque color. Let me now draw details on this branch, and maybe one more to the side. Now that we have the shape, we can add a little highlight on it. I will just widen this part a little. And after that I will select some of the light blue color. Let it be color number 4. I will draw on the left side of the tree trunk and on some branches to highlight it a little. Maybe here. Let me actually scale this tree a little. I think it's too big. And I will also move it a little upper, so it is more on the blue part. Okay, now let's add the foliage quickly. Actually, we can do it right on the same layer, but if you'd like to adjust it later, you can create a new one. I will start drawing the foliage with the darkest pink color. Let's set the size to around 10%. And start tapping around the branches, making circular strokes. I'd like to keep the foliage shape simple, so it fits the style. Also, I will be changing the angle of the pencil and apply different pressure. Now we can also add highlights here, using the 4th pink color. I will tap on top of the previous color, keeping some gaps, so it'll look like this. If we hold the pencil almost vertically, we will get a more opaque color. So let me tap a few more times here. And I think now the tree is almost ready. Maybe we can darken the left part a little more, to separate it from the background. If it is located totally on blue part, you don't have to do that. I'll just go and select the false violet color. And tap a few more times here. At the lower part of the shapes. This will be enough. Next I'd like to draw a few clouds, and to do that I will select white color from the background and create a layer between the mountains and the tree. To do it faster I'm going to use my custom clouds brush, that's also included in the bundle. We can set the size to around 9 or 10% and start creating the cloud shape. I will make them wider in the center and more narrow and scattered on the sides, like this. Let's draw another cloud in front of the mountains. I will do it in the same way. Just stretch it more to the sides. And the last cloud will go above the tree. Like this. To add a little more creativity to the drawing, we can draw a couple of fillers. That can be any shapes. I will continue using white color. Just go to Ink Inset and select Ink Bleed. I will just draw some simple shapes like this. That'll look like stars. Another one may go here on the hot air balloon. Then another one here. And to make them more visible, I will add them on darker parts. Maybe another one on this side. And a few more on the left. Now let's finish the drawing, and I want to show you one of the ways to do that. Just if you post your version, don't forget to tag me on Instagram, because I will be very happy to see it. So now I will go to the background color and set it to the lightest blue. To hide the texture on this light part, I will just go and clip it to the circle. Now I'd like to add a frame around the circle, and for that I will create a layer above the texture, continue using white color, together with monoline, but before that I will go to properties of the brush and increase maximum size. We can set it to around 300%, and later you can reset the settings. Now let's pick the size. I'll set it to 16%. And draw around the circle. I will tap to make it perfect. And then go to the layer to lower its opacity. I will set it to 50%. Then move the circle. And scale it uniformly. I just want the inner frame to be equal to the outer one. So I will move the frame. And we will get a result like this. And at this point our drawing is ready. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. You can also access more tutorials and brush sets on my Patreon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.